rain is life-giving water. But imagine if we were dependent on rain every day. If we only got enough rain for the day ahead, that the rain we got wouldn't last longer than 24 hours. Would we be worried about whether the rain would come the next day? Might seem like a funny illustration, but I think life is best lived like that, one day at a time. What if we were given exactly what we needed for today? No more, no less, and that tomorrow the same provision would be given. Where water pools soon loses its freshness, and where we try and pool what we have, it does the same inside us. We can become greedy, inward focused, and the thing that we need and is good affects us in ways that aren't good. We can lose our freshness when we take what we're given and try and store it up, keep more than what we need. I think the way to live life is to be like a flowing stream, to let what we have pass through us, not to try and grab onto it, to store it up and hold it too tightly, to receive and then to give, to join in with the celebration of the abundance that we really have around us, to use only what we need and then to pass the rest on. And that way life can become joyful, can become free. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're having a good day, and keep an eye on the chat if you want to say hi. Let me know what you're having for lunch if you're watching live. But interesting topic, I think, today, looking at our lives and whether they're more like the still water or like a flowing stream. I think it's really important to reflect and think. Something that's caused me recently to reflect on that question is when accidentally I got sent two of the same things that I'd ordered online. I only needed one, but the company, when I let them know, didn't want it back. So what do I do with the other thing? It's always the feeling like you could use that to your advantage and try and sell it. This probably happened to you if you do any sort of regular ordering online. Often there's a mistake. And when it's in your favor and you don't even need the thing, it's funny how there's still the temptation to hang on to it, to use it to your advantage, and maybe even not to be honest about the fact. So I think what goes on inside is more important than our physical gain. That's the way I think you've got to see it, that if we are starting to worry and feel guilty or feel these negative emotions because of some outward gain that we get, maybe through a mistake or whatever it is, maybe dishonest, maybe even just not a generous thing, I don't think that's worth it. So interested to know what you think about that. But we're looking at the story of Moses, continuing on from previous weeks and really getting into this topic right now. So let's read this together and see if there's any keys for us here in relation to this topic. The Lord said to Moses, I have heard the grumbling of the Israelites. Tell them, at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God. They'd been wandering in the desert. They'd run out of food. And so they started complaining and grumbling, we have needs. But God answers, that evening quail came and covered the camp. And in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. When the dew was gone, thin flakes like frost on the ground appeared on the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Everyone is to gather as much as they need. Take an omer for each person you have in your tent. Take what you need." The Israelites did as they were told. Some gathered much, some little. And when they had measured it by the omer, the one who had gathered much did not have too much, and the one who had gathered little did not have too little. Everyone had gathered just as much as they needed. Then Moses said to them, "No one is to keep any of it until morning." However, some of them paid no attention to Moses. They kept part of it until morning. So interesting that is, I think, looking back at them, I see that in myself, the feeling that we should hang on to what we have, to keep some in reserve, to try and hold on to it. Like my leftovers I'm eating here for lunch. It never quite tastes the same the next day, and the longer you keep it, it's not the same. It always tastes best on the day it's made. I think that's something that is a principle for life. Enjoy the moment. We try and keep things, and maybe it's capturing with photos, or it's never quite the same when we try and hold on to these great experiences, these good things in our life. We've been given it, and tomorrow there's a new experience. We can't really hold on to these things and expect them to keep giving us that initial joy they might have given at the start. Let's keep going. So Moses got angry with them because the food they'd kept got maggots and began to smell. Each morning everyone gathered as much as they needed, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. On the 6th day they gathered twice as much, 2 omers for each person. And as the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses, he said to them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be the day of Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever is left and keep it until morning." Something different for this day. So they saved it until morning as Moses commanded, and it did not stink or get maggots in it. "Eat it today," Moses said, "because today is the Sabbath to the Lord. You will not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you are to gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will not be any." Nevertheless, some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather it, but they found none. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? Bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. This is why in the sixth day he gives you bread for 2 days, provides what you need." Everyone is to stay where they are on the 7th day. No one is to go out. So the people rested on the 7th day. So interesting. I think we all have needs. And it's funny how even when those needs are met, we still have that need. Nothing completely satisfies. And I think we've got to be aware of that life is flowing past. And the moment we try and dam it up and try and keep it and secure it, we lose it. I think that may be part of what Jesus meant when he said, when we try to hold on to life, we lose it. But when we lose our lives for God's sake, for his sake, we find it. But these needs, I think, can only be met in God. And when we try and meet them in other things, we've got to be aware that these things are temporary. That God will provide for our needs day after day. But ultimately, I think that God gives us is going to satisfy us completely. They're signs and pointers towards the giver, the one that continues to provide. And when we live like that, looking to our provider, thankful for the gifts, but not trying to hold on to them tightly, but allowing them to point us back to God and be thankful, we can live with freedom and joy. And I think taking a day off, we saw that at the end, the Sabbath rest is a sign of that trust. It's not up to us to keep on working to try and provide. That ultimately, all that we have is a gift from God. And if you're here watching this, you're like me, you've always had enough. There was never a day that caused you to be so much in need that you died. Well, we're here. It's evidence that God provides for us. Not always easy, and things get hard and difficult. We might be feeling our need more at certain times, but we always seem to have enough. And I think that's something that when we think about, reflect on, should cause us to thank the one who's provided for us. So I'd be interested to know what you think. Leave a comment if you'd like. But thank you for watching this, and hope to speak with you next time. Great to see you. Thank you for making the time today.